Welcome again to the video, and this is the last part of writing a research paper, or in the structure of writing a research paper, which is discussion. In the previous video, we discussed about how the results should be presented in a manner that is acceptable by journals. So what do we need to include in the discussion of our results? So I will start by a quote by J.S. Lehman, who said that in a discussion you should say what your findings mean, not what you like them to mean or think they ought to mean. So here you should not force an interpretation of the results in the direction that you want them to mean, but you should just discuss them in an honest manner on what they mean. In this case, in this part of the research paper, the authors are encouraged to be honest about any limitation they encountered in their study and explain how the findings that they obtained are fitting in the already existing knowledge, or if there is any differences in the field, they should be able to explain that. And it is known that the discussion in the inbred structure of writing a research paper, that discussion is the most difficult section to write a paper, especially when you have a lot of information about the field. You should be able to know what to include. So in this case, you should be very careful to only discuss results with the most relevant literature without and limit yourself to the scope of the objectives of your study. So here is a summarized table or tablet that should guide researchers in writing their or in discussing their results. And you can do this in at least 4 paragraphs or many, but now the structure of the paragraph should be like paragraph 1 should just give us what did the study show, in case how are the aims of the study being answered by your research. The second paragraph just includes the strengths and weaknesses of the methods, and the research should also be able to report any limitations or challenges that encountered in obtaining the data, and maybe probably how they were able to address that. From paragraph 3, and we can have multiple paragraphs of this form where we are able now to discuss our results and support what you found in terms of correlating it to existing literature and whether our study findings agree or differ with what is already in the field. So this is the most important paragraph, and the researcher should pay more attention to it so that we only interpret our studies within the context of our scope of our study. The final paragraph of the discussion section should answer the question, so what and where next? After we have done our research, these are our findings, what should those results take the direction to? And this in terms should give us or should explore opportunity whereby we are able to advance the research further, or if in case of clinical studies, how is the finding going to improve clinical health? So these are things that should guide us when writing our discussion or when discussing our results. So there are other important points that you should note, and which mostly is an error that most researchers commit, and it is discouraged that we should just end our discussion with sentences like further studies are needed, where this to be done, or we are now investigating whether in discussion is not the point where now we should be able to say what was not done, what should be done. So we should preserve those recommendations And know that the purpose of a paper is just to show what you have found and what it means, and not to suggest what work you or other researchers might undertake in the future. So in our writing, we should be so clear. So what? After you have obtained these results, what do they mean? And that should be an interesting point that we should end our research reporting. So this is the last part of the writing a research paper with discussion of results, and should be done in a manner that is acceptable and recognized by many international journals where we intend to submit our manuscripts. Again, thank you for watching and subscribe to the channel. I'll be updating and uploading more videos to help you in strengthening your research capacity and overcoming any obstacles that might be witnessed when we are preparing our manuscripts to submit to journals. Thank you.